just go ahead then. So we, for everyone who got here before I did and everyone who just joined, welcome to the club. You all are doing good, and just go ahead and get started. I guess I can. For this, we aren't going to have any next. I guess before we do dive into the games, will say for next week, what we'll be doing is for the game pitch projects, we'll have the like check-ins. So when we that will be when we'll just go and ask each of the group leaders to give updates on their projects and just how things are coming along and stuff. But for this week, we won't be doing that. Actually, let's see. Do Maddie or Bryce or any of the other e-border officers, do any of you want to start off and show us a project that you've worked on?
And I don't have it. I was not able to recover it from someone else.
Okay. That's fine.
I don't think I have much. I don't even think I have anything because they're just like drawings.
I have one, but I just need to upload the latest version to Itch, and then I'll get it over.
Okay. Ooh. I have. I guess in that case, I can go ahead and show what I have. Let me extract this. And I might have showed this at some point. I don't think I've showed it at any of the general meetings. Let me mute this. Okay, that should be fine. So we'll go ahead and share this and so generally, I guess what I'll be doing and what I figure most people will be doing is, when they're showing the game, just talking a little bit about, the story behind it and the, some of the ideas in terms of design. So this was a game jam game I made a couple of years ago for an Extra Credits game jam. And I made this during during finals weekend, which was a very bad idea, but that meant I had very little time to work with. What I ended up doing was making this basically just a very bare bones puzzle game where it is the only two big elements in it is you have all these little people that you can move around and they all move together at the same time. And then these platforms that they need to stand on. And then that is how you go on to the next level. So it's just a little puzzle game where with just this simple 2D movement around a map around various maps that I built out. So then since I had to make this during finals week, that meant that I only had even though the jam ran for 3 days, I only had time as if I had 1 day to make it. So the tile set, all the level graphics, this came from was based on a tile set that I found online that I had the license to use, and then I did the character art. But other than that, everything was just code, just to implement all these things. So this is a level where we need to get the guy on the right up above and the guy on the left down below. So then you need to use the level terrain to do that in this case. So just like simple things like this. So it was, just a fun little project to make. And then, yeah, I could keep going showing levels. I do want to see if I can bring this up. No, I can't. Okay. So that was made in a game engine that is other than Unity. So the engine came with its own level editor. For some reason, I can't get the level editor to work anymore, at least not on my newer laptop. But if I can showcase, I think this share probably died. Oh, was I sharing before? I don't think I was sharing before. Wait. Oh no, nobody said anything. Oops.
It's sharing now.
I thought like I thought that was normal.
Yeah, I was like trying to like go through and like, just show a few of the early levels, but let's see. I think I can. So I know the level editor doesn't work. I can at least do the debug console. So like, I think I can get it to tell me what level I'm on. Never mind. Something there is screwed up. I can't even use the debug console. Well, I will go ahead and just show the first couple levels then. And let's see, please work this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a simple little game called Omnipresent. And like, I guess the main thing like I learned from making this was like I was pretty happy with what I ended up making. And most of the people I showed it to were generally like they had fun playing it and stuff. But this was all something that I could have built like if I had just an entire day to work with. This is something I could have built in that time. And that is like something that I've learned from future game jams where I try to be more ambitious. I just don't have enough time to finish it. Or like, even if I do, I have no time to like polish and things. So I think it's like, I'm going to try to focus more on building something really small that I can like build in a day. And then I have the rest of my time to actually refine and make levels and test things and have people try it and stuff. Yeah, and so this was the part where like, let's see if I restart. Wait. Oh, good restart. Is that broken? Weird. Okay. But yeah, so like the idea where this sort of came from was like there's one, I think this is like a puzzle mechanic that's showed up in other games where you do all the things at the same time. I just wanted to make a game that focused purely on that and then just see what various levels I can make. So like in this one, like it's probably get stuck with all the characters into a line and there's no way to like separate them out again. So that's where I teach this, I'm using this to like teach the restart mechanic. So then if you screw up, you can restart and then fix it and things. And then from here it gets harder because like you need to like separate things out and get them, like you need to get. I won't keep playing it from here because I actually don't remember how to solve this puzzle, and that wouldn't be too interesting to watch me try to relearn how to do it. But it goes from there, and so this was like it was just a fun little project just to build. And, it's fun seeing other people play it and stuff. So I'm going to end off there. If anyone's curious, I can like dump a link in the Discord. I will let somebody else show off their project now. So.
I guess I can go next.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me okay? Just making sure.
Yeah.
So before I share this game, I actually made this game recently, like literally on Sunday I had finished making it. It's not technically done because there's a lot more I wanted to do with the game, but it was for a project for my game dev class that I actually share with Celine. So I had to get it done for the deadline, but I do plan on like finishing out once I have the time to, because I actually really like this game concept. So this was made using the game engine Twine. If any of you guys are familiar with it, it's actually a interactive story engine. So it helps. Probably after the game, after you finish playing the game, I'll show you what the interface looks like and how it works. It's actually, since it is a sort of a choose your own adventure game, I'll probably have some of you guys in chat tell me what I should choose, just for a little bit of fun. The idea of the game is it's a murder mystery. You're supposed to solve this mystery of somebody who died, and you're supposed to collect all these clues. And the whole like idea was that the clues are kind of hard to find. You'd have to like you have to move your cursor over some certain text, and it'll reveal to you what the clue is supposed to be. Yeah, I'll just share it. Okay. Let's see this one. All right. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yep.
How do I get chat so I can see chat at the same time?
I can just tell you.
There you go. Okay, there you go.
Mm.
All right, so this is the game. I couldn't finish it in time, so that's why it says episode 2 is coming soon, but this is the very first game. So you wake up one morning to find an anonymous letter waiting for you in your mail. You take it with you to the kitchen as you prepare your breakfast. So at the very beginning of the game, it tells you a hint that you could hover over certain words and passages to learn more about them. So if I just drag my cursor around here, you'll see that you can click on this anonymous letter. If you don't, it looks like normal text, but if you hover over it, it'll tell you that you can click on it. And then it'll tell you more about the letter. It's a plain letter with a wax stamp. And then again, if you hover over it, you'll see that you can click on the wax stamp, and then you could look at it and it's a large red seal, yada, yada, yada. So these are the two choices I have right here. So you guys, if you want to, you could decide, or I could just maybe go through breakfast. Do you want to eat breakfast?
Breakfast is important.
Breakfast. Okay. Yes, breakfast. All right. So we're going to eat breakfast first. All right. So you decide that the letter can wait. You're very hungry and you really can't focus on reading a letter right now. So I made this mechanic because I realized that all of the passages were really long walls of text. And for someone like me who kind of has like ADHD, it's hard for me to read long passages of text without getting distracted. So I just made this a bit easier for people to read one paragraph at a time. So you cook up some eggs and bacon, and then you click again, and then you read through your morning newspaper. If you actually hover over a newspaper, you could read what the newspaper is about. It's the same news as always. There's an evil lich planning to take over the world. Ragtag adventurers are trying to stop them. There's increased military pressure, yada, yada. When I made this game, I was really into D&D, so I added some D&D aspects in here and there. I can keep clicking, and then you can either go to work or you can open the letter. So again, another choice for you guys. Work, the letter, open the letter. Ooh, okay, we have 2 for work and 2 for open the letter. Let's see if reading letters are overrated. Avoid the letter, work. Okay, everyone wants to go to work. Okay, let's go to work. So the letter isn't really important right now. You need to get to work, or else the head archivist will yell at you. You can head out to the 4th district. Again, you can click on winding streets. You can look at the streets. I'm just gonna click on the extra text for now, but once we get to like the investigation part, I won't tell you which ones you can actually click over time. So you look at the streets, you can get to work. You can click this, and then you finally make it to your workplace, and now you can decide if you want to just keep working or if you want to open the letter. Oh, hi, Celine. Celine's here. All right, more work. All right, so we have work, keep working, letter. All right, we have one for letter, 2 for work, keep working, gotta get that bread. I'm almost home from the vet. The only thing guaranteed is work and death. All right. So shall we keep working? All right, so we're going to continue working. So you put the letter aside and go about your day. There's far more important things to do. You continue with work. Every now and then someone will ask you a stupid question, yet all you can do is smile and nod. That's sort of how I feel about working in customer service. As the workday drew on, you forgot about the letter. You don't even remember you had a letter in the first place. The next day, an important headline is read in the newspaper. The Leroy heir assassinated at a gala, murderer still on the run. A sinking feeling rests in your gut, but you don't know why. It's not like you could have prevented this or done anything about it. But why does it bother you so much? Instinctively, you check your bag looking for something, a small envelope with a red wax seal, but there's nothing there. So this is the very first ending you can get. This is technically like the bad ending. So I added this mechanic where it could go back to the last checkpoint, which is like at the very beginning of the game. So this is so that if you want to get all of the endings and stuff, so you could go to the last checkpoint, and we're back here again. So should we open the letter this time, or do you want to still eat breakfast? Wait until work, eat breakfast, then open the letter. Breakfast first, breakfast. Okay. Speedrun breakfast. Okay, we're speedrun breakfast. Okay, yeah, yep. I'll just click on everything that's clickable. Do you still want to go to work still, or do you want to open the letter now? Letter, work time, work, letter, find, letter. Oh no, letter. Okay, letter. So I'll open the letter. You lift off the wax seal of the letter. It's elegantly written, yada, yada, yada. I know reading this may come to you as a surprise, detective, but I'm in dire need of your assistance. I have reason to believe that I will be murdered tonight at a gala in the 1st District. I do not know who my murderer will be, nor do I know who when I will be killed. All I know is that I must contact you. My sister spoke highly of you. Hopefully what she says about you are true. Please find my murderer and put them to justice. Veronica Leroy. So some of the things you can click in this passage, you can click detective, and you could say, oh, you glared the word detective. No one has called you that in many years, not since your downfall. Even looking at the word fills you with an uncomfortable sense of dread and shame. So one of the purposes of being able to click this text is to just give you more lore, I guess, about your character, because this is sort of like a self-insert in a way, but also you don't really know much about your character. But this is when you start learning more. So you can click on the sister right here. So you think about the sister. And then actually in this passage, you can click, you know exactly who this was. And you remember Angelica. And Angelica was your partner in crime, as well as your previous and final client. After you failed to solve the case of her husband's murder, she fell into despair and never spoke to you again. Last you heard, she had committed suicide a few years ago. You never showed up to her funeral. So that's like something super tragic and sad that you only find out if you click this. And then you could think about Veronica, the Leroy family, you knew about them, yada, yada. You were left in a moment in silence. So now we're presented with another one. We could do something about the letter, or we can ignore the letter. So if we ignore the letter, it'll just bring us back to the same ending we did before. So for now, I'm just going to click do something about the letter. Yeah. So for now, I'm going to click do something. So now this is sort of where the other endings come through. So now there's, I'll click this just in case. There's 2 ways we can get inside this gala. So I might just speedrun this a bit, get the good stuff, just so that somebody else can present their game for now. But second breakfast. So our
do we have anyone else who how many other people are like would like to present stuff?
Yeah, I don't want to like spend all this time on my game if somebody else has something to present.
I mean, personally, I think it's very cool. So like, I wouldn't mind seeing more, but I want to get an idea of how many other people are.
Yeah. Anyone?
See, I don't see any hands or anything. So like, say
might
something in
want to.
chat or raise a hand or something if you're interested.
I might want to.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I'll just speed run through this. I'll get the parts that have the most interesting dialogue, because depending on what choices you make, some of the dialogue and some characters will change. So I'll choose sneak. It asks if you want to forge an invitation or if you want to stealth. I'll stealth into the gala. So this is stealthing. So then it asks if I want to go to the sewers or climb the wall. If you climb the wall, you're going to get caught. Just spoilers. So I'm going to go through the sewers. So I go through the sewers and then I make it inside the mansion and then I see Veronica. So this part, you finally meet the person who sent you the letter. You could click this to get some notes about ravens. They keep talking about yada yada. You could see piercing green eyes. This clue only unlocks if you clicked on something beforehand. So if you didn't click on whatever you had to click on before, you won't get the option to observe her green eyes. So she'll be assassinated. You follow Veronica. You keep going. So this is the part where she dies. Veronica's dead body. So there's this character here actually, this young man, where depending on which route you go, it's you either speak to a young man or a young woman, but they're both the same. They're just different genders. Something I just wanted to add on to show, like whichever path you chose to get into the gala affects like which character you're speaking to. So this is the main investigation part. So you can talk to people, you could look into rooms, or you can investigate the body. And then at this point, you could check your evidence. You could check like profiles about people, and you could also look in your journal. So your journal is all of this stuff that we had clicked on earlier. So stuff like that. So anything that important that would help you think about stuff. So for example, if you want to speedrun this, first we could go like talk to people. And when you go talk to people, like the only person you could speak with for now is the witness, and that's because like they will allow you to speak with other people. So you can go through this dialogue, and then they'll tell you that, oh yeah, these are the people who are suspects, and then they added the witness to your profiles list. So if you go back and check your profiles list, you can see you have the witness, and then it gives you some more info about the witness you talked to. And then so now you can speak with all these people. We'll just speedrun talking to all of them. Yep. Speedrun talking to all of them. They all have like different personalities and different backstories about how they knew the person who got murdered. And then if you go back to talk to them, they'll actually say that you've already talked to them. And then they'll say this, and then this will give you the choice to like ask them questions if you find any evidence, stuff like that. So now, again, your profiles list, you have all these people in there now. So there you go. So you can learn more about them. So you could go back. We can go investigate the rooms. So there's different rooms you can go to. So with these ones, you can click on certain things. These are the clues that you're supposed to find. There's a loose vent. And then in the actual passages, you can keep clicking other stuff, and then it'll give you you could see evidence being added to your list. So if you go back and check your evidence, you'll see it'll give you a description of the evidence. So this one, there's a butcher's knife that has some dry blood on it. There isn't a lot of blood, which means someone must have just cut themselves with it, and you found it in the cellar. Same thing with all the rest of this stuff. So some of them have like extra notes other than like what you found when you found it. So some extra stuff. There's a bunch of more clues, but they're not really important right now. So we could just investigate the body. So this is the more interesting part. So right now, her body is laying face down on the floor, and there's a pool of blood around her head. You can click on her head and you can examine that. You see a strange hole appear, and it says maybe you should try to flip the body over. So you actually, in this passage, you can't really click on anything, but if you go back, you can actually click on body now on this first passage. And now you can get hole added to evidence list. Her body's lays cold. You can't feel a pulse. There's the same hole as the one in the back of her head. You've heard about a recent invention, a weapon that could shoot holes into people. It's called a gun. So now the gun's added to your evidence list. So now you could click on other stuff. So you could click on small pool of blood. So you take a look at the small pool of blood. For such a weapon that created a hole through her head, why is the pool of blood so small? So that's like one of the indications that, ooh, maybe something happened to her body beforehand. And then if you click on long blue robe, you take off her robe that she's wearing, and you can see that she actually has another hole on her chest, but you couldn't really see it earlier. So there's another hole. So if you go back, so again, it's in your evidence. You could click on it. So like I could click on gun, and it says the only problem is you haven't, you know that there's a gun. The murder weapon was a gun. So now we could go talk to people. And actually, what you can do now, because you found the gun, is you can come to them and you could ask them how many explosions they heard, and they'll say that they only heard one. So if you go back, and then if you go ask the maid,
Archie's the imposter.
if you asked everyone, they'll always say that they only heard one. So I'll just ask, they only heard one. The client, they only heard one. And then the interesting part is, if you go speak with the witness, is you ask how many explosions, and they say that I'm pretty sure I heard 2 explosions. So you're like, oh, wait a minute, everybody else only heard 1. So you say, oh, 2 explosions, and he gives you a weird look. You see everyone else only heard 1 explosion. And Juno says, oh, I thought I heard 2 because Veronica's body had 2 holes in it. So you say, oh, 2 holes? How do you know? You see, there's only one very obvious hole in Veronica's forehead, but the second hole would be too hard to see unless you were examining her body, or if you were the one who shot her twice. And this is where the game ends, unfortunately. So let me just change. So this is what the game looks like on Twine. So all of these arrows are the branching paths. You could see the different endings, how you talk to people, and then these are all of the different passages that you could read in the in these are the evidence lists and so on and so forth. So that's basically what it would look like in Twine. So yeah, that was my game. Sorry if that was really long. But yeah. Thank you. Yes, I will actually try to finish this game because I like the idea I had for it. So
Yeah, I think it's really cool that the things you interact with aren't super obvious. Like you have to actually go search around for it. That's pretty cool.
yeah, that because it's hard to make like a detective investigation game sort of text-based. So I had to find a way to make it a bit harder for you to find those clues.
Yeah. How long did it take? Like, so this was made for a class. Was this
Yeah.
Was this a group of 2 that, or how big is the group?
Actually, I made it myself.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had the idea and I wasn't sure if anyone in the class was interested in making the idea with me. So I sort of made it on my own. But
Okay.
it was 4 weeks to make the game, but I made it in about 2, and then I spent the last probably 12 hours of the game making the last half of the game. So
That sounds about right. That's normally how these things
yeah.
go for me too. So
yeah, so that's the game. Yeah, thank you.
yeah, it's really cool. Can we get some? Let's see. We already got some claps in the chat. How about some pogs? Can we get some pogs? They're fun too, I guess. All the pogs. Okay, let's see. So, Josh, do you want to share your game?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. If we need to tweak, who can, like, if I need to give you the ability to share, I can do that. Let's see. You should be able to share now.
Okay. All right. Can we see that?
Yep, we can see it. Yeah, and
All right.
Selena, we can show off the clicker game after this.
So I made this game, I want to say, in like my sophomore year of high school. But when I loaded it up, it was really unstable. And so I'm kind of nervous that it's not going to work. But fingers crossed.
My fingers are crossed as well.
Okay. So basically, the premise of this game is I wanted to create like a survival game. And so I have an inventory here and I've got a flashlight. And it's just this big randomly generated house. And you just have to collect stuff and survive. You can see I have a water, hunger, and health bar over here and my inventory, which it appears I've already obtained a weapon, which is great. So I can walk around. If I sneak, I'll make less noise so they can't hear me. Oh, and I've been spotted. So let me get my gun out here. And that took care of him pretty easily. Weapons make a lot of noise, so I've just drawn all the enemies in this house to come for me, and I think I may be dead. And this is not looking great. And I have no ammunition for my gun, so I believe this is the end for me. I have a knife. Try that. Youch. Yeah. And I'm dead.
The
So,
animations are super good.
and yeah, it's just this big randomly, like you can see, I have this map here. You can see the whole thing. And I guess I'll go again one more time.
So wait, is the whole thing, is it, so it's randomly generated every time, or?
Yeah. And then you can see down here, I have this time thing. It'll lock, when it hits midnight on the next night, it'll lock the room that you're currently in and then regenerate the house around you.
What? That's a really cool idea. This is all
Nothing
really
there.
cool.
And like, there's an enemy, so I try to not alert him this time. If I make noise, they'll come to where they heard the noise, and then if they see me, then they'll lock on. And let me just hide behind here. Looks like he's going that way, so I will go the opposite direction. And you'll notice there's a lot of gnomes here. I didn't bother to make actual sprites for like food and water and stuff, so I just used pictures of gnomes, which is also why the enemies make gnome noises when they hear and see you. Like that.
Oh yeah, just, we can't hear the audio at the moment. By default, Zoom doesn't share that.
Oh. How would I do that?
I think it's in the share screen settings. The
Share
like there should
computer
be something you can check to do like share computer audio. Oh yeah, now we can hear it.
Okay. Hello, friend.
How long did this take you?
That's an awful good question. I don't remember. I worked on it just like during like the lunchtime at school because I didn't have a computer at home, and then it took me like the course of the whole school year.
Oh, okay.
Very much in a not finished state, but it's so unbearably spaghetti coded at this point. I don't think I'd want to come back to it.
Yeah, that's a relatable problem. I've had projects that have gotten very big and very spaghetti. So you're definitely not alone in that.
I do have several different types of guns that you can find. I'm trying to find them right now. Oh yeah, I got a health kit. Use that. I'll just spawn one in. So we've got a shotgun. And this one's different than the other weapons in that it only reloads one at a time, like this. And you can see how much I've got loaded in here. And you got all the stats and stuff.
Okay, so then once you switch,
I like the
so
shotgun.
once you put your gun back in your inventory, it stays loaded, right?
Yeah. So like, I have this ammunition, this universal ammunition, and then when you press reload on a gun, it'll load it into your gun.
Okay.
And as I've said before, guns make a lot of noise, and so does running. So it'll draw enemies to your location. I can see this guy has an question mark, which means he's heard me but not seen me. But then as soon as he sees me, I'll go ahead and just show the rest of the guns and then call it good. So, the assault rifle you already saw. I think, no. No. There we go. We've got I should spawn myself some more ammo.
Look at this guy and his dev tools.
Yeah. I was so proud of myself when I got this console thing to work.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and
really good.
said before, I'm using the Unity game engine. And then let's spawn some friends.
Oh no.
So,
It's long, dude.
Long Dude is a very good name.
we've got that. We've got the big iron, which also reloads one at a time. We've got a minigun. And this one is not obtainable normally. I just included it because it's fun. Which not balanced at all. Then finally, we have this. I think you can tell that I had a strange obsession with gnomes back in high school. Yeah. And
What's the name
I
of
would
that gun?
Huh?
What's the name of that gun? That
gnome gun.
gnome gun? Yeah.
Yep. Let me just snack on some food here. And I think that's just about, oh yeah, one more. Pistol. Can't forget that.
Upstep gun.
And I think that's just about all of my game. We got a friend here. Oh, wait a second. Actually, I think there's one more thing that I'd like to show you. I'll just drag it in. Where am I? Oh yeah, you can see these green paths are all the paths that the enemies are taking. Try and walk around. Where am I?
It's pretty polished, honestly. Like you could, I don't know, like if you worked on this a little bit more, you could actually like.
Maybe. But like I said, under the surface, it's horrible spaghetti code, like atrocious.
Yeah, but that's why it's like you just what do you call
All
it?
right,
Rework some of the formatting and stuff.
we've got some melee weapons. Just melee weapons. Then we got the Magnum, which I need more ammo for. Which is just a revolver. And then we've got this one, which is the Magnum Dong.
Oh, whoops! Oh, I dropped my monster condom that I use for my Oh, whoops! Oh, I dropped my monster condom that I use for my
I had an interesting sense of humor back then.
Oh, whoops! Oh,
And finally,
my monster condom that I use for my
one last thing I will end off on, if I can find one. It shouldn't be too difficult because they're everywhere. If I can find a lamp. Oh yeah, and obviously food and water go down very, very slowly, but if they go down all the way, then I will start taking damage.
So someone in the chat asked about they asked are these textures and stuff open source?
Huh? Oh, I made them all myself.
Okay.
Ah, here we go. As an inside joke between me and my friend, lamps, if you attack them, will explode violently. And I'm dead. So, I think that would just about wrap up my game. Thank you all
That's
for
really cool.
taking a look.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us. Nandid has a point. Anyone who attacks a lamp like that does deserve to be exploded. Okay.
Spaghettify it.
What?
It could be if he unspaghettifies it, he can actually like it can actually be really good. So
Maybe,
Yeah.
but it's really spaghetti. It's super spaghetti. I've moved on to other things. I'm working on
Okay.
a different project now.
oh, okay. Show us your newest project next time or sometime. I don't know. At some point.
Let's see. So someone did bring up a clicker game. I think that, and then also I know that Nandan has stuff to show. So, who wants to go next? Let's see. Okay. Yes. Okay, Nandan, do you wanna
Yes.
show us something you've been working on?
Okay. Give me 1 second. What is it? My website. Join tutor to no, just kidding. Let's go to my portfolio. So this is a game about you being.
This one?
Yep.
I'll shut up.
a starfish. Oh my god, let it load. Load. Okay. Oh. Wait, why can't I full screen this? Oh, that sucks. Basically, you're a starfish. And this was for a game jam. And
See
I
it.
guess, theme was
Could you
transmission.
turn the game volume's pretty loud? We can't hear you very well.
Oh, okay. Hello? Is that quieter?
That doesn't change. I don't think that changes the volume that for us.
Maybe I should just mute this. For now, I'll mute it.
Okay.
But yeah, basically the theme of the game jam was transmission. And we said, okay, we started brainstorming, and I guess the idea was like, what if you could transfer your soul? So basically, I said, let's get the starfish to chop off his arm, and then you could spawn a body where it would grow from the arm, and then the soul would transfer from the old body, leaving behind a corpse. And then now the soul's in the new body. So it's transmitting. And basically became this mechanic. So essentially your goal is to like move around, like cut off your arm as a projectile, and then teleport to that location, basically. And whatever momentum you have carries over. So if you're jumping up, like, oh, I missed. I got electrocuted there. Whoops, I trolled. But yeah, basically that's the idea. And then another one that I have is Hydro Hunters. And this one is like a tower defense slash, I don't know what you call it. It's like not really a tower defense. It's like a fighting game tower defense thing. So basically, two people are playing against each other, and they can move around. So it's kind of like a fighting game, but health regenerates, and then they can do things where they can set turrets. And then they attack each other with these various turrets that they set. So you have this like laser shark, the sea urchin, and then this dragon, I guess. So dragon, urchin, laser, you can see at the bottom. And since it's all played on one keyboard, so like that's why you see like this I/Z, O/X, P/C, because one player does I, O, and P, and the other player does Z, X, and C. Too. And then one player uses WASD, the other player uses the arrow keys. Basically, it's like when you were a kid, when you played on like a mini clip or whatever, you know how you just like, I don't know, shared a keyboard and played games. That's kind of the thing that we want to evoke from that game, from this game jam. Basically, yeah, and then you also have a shield, but it only like reduces damage. It doesn't like completely block it, I'm pretty sure. And it doesn't last too long. And the other thing about the shield, the other thing that you have is you can shoot. Let me see, which one is it? View. Yeah. So you can shoot, but you can't shoot the enemy because then there will be no point in having towers. You can only shoot at enemy towers. So we go to this guy. You can destroy the enemy towers, and you can destroy these things that spawn, these random urchin guys that spawn. And there's health pickups so that if you're getting really low, and it gets intense because like you'll like set like a bunch of these things, and then oh, I forgot to mention, when you spawn one of these things, they have a health cost. So basically, every time you can't just like infinitely just build, what do you call, towers. You want to build in a way that it's like you don't sacrifice all your health, obviously. So it's just about planning and decision making. So when you're low on health, you don't want to spawn in a laser shark, which is like the most OP. And then when you're high on health, you probably do want to spawn a laser shark. And yeah, it's like this back and forth that gets like really intense. Yeah, so it's better shown with 2 people, but yeah, it's basically the game.
Yeah, one day when we're back physically in person, then that would be fun to, you know, we could like, I don't know, do a Hydra Hunters tournament.
And then I have several others, but they're like, I have to download them because I didn't save them. But
And
yeah.
also we are like pretty much out of time. It is almost 1.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, true.
I think this is a pretty good time to wrap things up.
And coming soon.
Yeah, so just thank you all for coming in and showing us your projects. They were all really cool. For next week, we will be doing the check-ins for the game pitch projects. And this Friday, we'll be doing a workshop on GitHub and source tree. So essentially stuff for sharing projects. So this should be useful for people who are newer to working in a group with, you know, on code and all that. So hopefully the workshop should be useful. Yeah, I did too. So someone is, yeah. So if anyone has any questions or anything, feel free to ask. Otherwise,
Thanks, Brad.
we'll see y'all next week or on Friday. Are we still able to join a group? Yeah, you can still join a group. Some groups, from what I were pretty big when we were first forming them, but it's possible, you know, a group might need another person or something. You could go ahead and in the Discord, there's a looking for group channel. So if you want to go, you know, just say like, you know, what you're interested, like what you're interested in working on, whether it's like code or art, whatever, you can go ahead and ask there. And then if we have 3 groups at the moment, so if any of them, you know, can are looking for another person, they can reach out to you. Yeah, no problem. Okay, unless anyone has any last minute questions, I think I will end things here. So
Thank
you
you.
all for coming, and hope you all have a good week.